Every Wednesday at 2 p.m., like clockwork, my wife Rachel would announce she was taking my mother to her doctor's appointment. She'd gather Mom's things, help her to the car, and they'd be gone for 3, sometimes 4 hours. When they returned, Mom would look tired, but Rachel would be cheerful, recounting the doctor's recommendations, the prescriptions they'd picked up, how well Mom was doing for her age. I thought it was beautiful. My wife of 15 years, taking care of my 78-year-old mother like she was her own. Mom had moved in with us 2 years ago after Dad passed away. Alzheimer's had started creeping in, nothing severe yet, but enough that she couldn't live alone safely. Rachel had insisted she come stay with us instead of a facility. She raised you, Rachel had said. Now it's our turn to take care of her. Family takes care of family. I'd fallen in love with her all over again in that moment. My name's Thomas, by the way. 46 years old. I work as a software architect for a tech company in Austin, Texas. Good salary, comfortable life. Rachel hadn't worked in 8 years. Not since we bought the bigger house in Westlake. She'd been in marketing before that. But when we upgraded our lifestyle, she'd wanted to focus on managing the household. I've been fine with that. We didn't have kids, couldn't, actually, after years of failed fertility treatments. So managing a household seemed like a reasonable way to spend her time. And then Mom moved in, and Rachel transformed into this devoted caregiver. Every Wednesday appointment. Every day, helping Mom with her medications, her meals, her bath. Reading to her in the evenings. Taking her for walks in the neighborhood. I worked long hours, often leaving at 7 a.m. and not getting home until 7 p.m. It gave me comfort knowing Mom was in good hands. That Rachel was there, patient and caring, handling everything. That Wednesday in October started like all the others. I kissed Rachel goodbye at 6:45 a.m., told Mom I loved her, headed to the office for a day of meetings and code reviews. Around 2:15, Rachel texted me a photo of Mom in the doctor's waiting room, smiling, giving a thumbs up. Annual checkup today. Dr. Morrison says she's doing great. Red heart. I sent back a heart emoji and went back to work. They returned around 6 p.m. I was already home, heating up leftover lasagna for dinner. Mom looked exhausted, more than usual. Her hair was disheveled. There was a faint bruise on her forearm that I didn't remember seeing that morning. Hey, Mom, you okay? You look tired. She looked at Rachel before answering. Something quick, a glance. Then back to me. Just a long day, honey. I'm fine. Dr. Morrison ran a bunch of tests. Rachel explained, setting down her purse. Blood work, blood pressure checks. You know how thorough he is. Poor thing got poked with needles 3 times before they found a good vein. That explained the bruise. I helped Mom to her recliner, turned on her favorite game show. Did Dr. Morrison say anything we need to be concerned about? I asked Rachel in the kitchen. No, everything looks good. He adjusted her blood pressure medication slightly, but otherwise, she's healthy, as can be expected. That's great. You're amazing for taking her every week, you know that. She smiled and kissed my cheek. She's family, Thomas. It's what we do. But that night, as I was helping Mom get ready for bed, I noticed something else. Another bruise on her upper arm. And when I helped her change into her nightgown, there were finger-shaped marks on her shoulder. Mom, what happened here? I touched her shoulder gently. She flinched. I don't remember, sweetheart. I'm just clumsy these days. Did you fall? Maybe. I can't remember. The Alzheimer's made it impossible to know if she genuinely didn't remember or if she was confused. I made a mental note to ask Rachel about it. But when I went to our bedroom, Rachel was already asleep, or pretending to be. And by morning, I'd forgotten about it entirely, pulled into the chaos of a major project deadline at work. The next Wednesday came. Same routine. Rachel announced she was taking Mom to her appointment. I barely looked up from my laptop during a virtual meeting, just waved as they left. But that evening, when they returned, I noticed it again. Mom looked scared. Not tired, scared. Her eyes darted around the room like she was looking for something or avoiding something. And when I hugged her hello, she winced. Mom, are you hurt? No, I'm fine. She bumped into the car door getting out. Rachel interjected smoothly. You know how she is, not watching where she's going sometimes. I looked at Rachel. really looked at her. She seemed normal, concerned, even caring. Maybe we should be more careful, I said. She's getting more bruises than usual. Thomas, she's 78 with early Alzheimer's. Bruising happens. The doctor says it's normal for her age and medication. Blood thinners make her bruise easily. She's on blood thinners. Dr. Morrison added them last month. I told you that. Had she? I couldn't remember. My work had been consuming lately, 70-hour weeks, trying to launch a new platform. I nodded, let it go. But I couldn't shake the feeling something was wrong. That Friday, I came home early. Rare for me, but the office was doing a team building thing I'd managed to skip. I pulled into the driveway at 3:30 p.m. and heard Ray's voices from inside. Rachel's voice. I told you to stop asking for it. It's none of your business. Mom's voice, smaller, frightened, but that was Richard's. He wanted Thomas to have it. Richard is dead, and you don't get to decide what happens to anything anymore. I opened the door. The voices stopped immediately. Rachel appeared from the hallway, smiling like nothing had happened. Thomas, you're home early. What a nice surprise. I heard yelling. Oh, that. Mom was confused about her medications again. You know how she gets. I was just trying to explain her schedule. I walked past her to Mom's room. Mom was sitting on her bed, crying quietly. Mom, what's wrong? She looked up at me, tears streaming down her face. I can't remember her, Tommy. I try to remember, but everything gets mixed up. Remember what? I don't know. Something important. Something Richard told me to tell you. My father, Richard. He'd passed 2 years ago, leaving Mom a comfortable widow with her paid-off house, a decent life insurance policy, and his pension. Mom, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But her hand gripped mine. Tommy, I'm scared. Scared of what? She looked toward the door where Rachel had been standing. Then back to me. I can't. Her confusion was frustrating, but heartbreaking. The Alzheimer's was progressing. Some days she was sharp as ever. Other days she didn't know what year it was. It's okay, Mom. You're safe here. I promise. But was she? Before I tell you what I found, you need to watch this entire video. What happens next will shock you. Hit that like button right now and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Have you ever suspected something was wrong but couldn't prove it? Share your story. I read every comment. Now, let me tell you what I discovered. That weekend, I started paying attention. Really paying attention. I watched how Rachel interacted with Mom. On Saturday morning, it seemed normal. Rachel made Mom breakfast, helped her with her shower, sat with her watching TV. But Saturday afternoon, I came back from a grocery run and heard Rachel's voice from Mom's room, sharp and cold. Stop asking me about it. I swear to God, if you mention it to Thomas, you'll regret it. I stood in the hallway, frozen, her mom crying softly. When Rachel emerged, she nearly ran into me. Her expression flickered, surprise, then carefully neutral. Thomas, you scared me. I didn't hear you come in. What was that about? What about? I heard you threatening my mother. Threatening? Thomas. She was having an episode. Getting agitated about things that don't exist. I was trying to calm her down, but sometimes I have to be firm. You know how she can get. She was crying. Because she's confused and frustrated. It's part of the disease. The doctor warned us this would happen. Everything she said made sense. Alzheimer's patients did get confused, did have episodes, did need firm redirection sometimes. But something about Rachel's eyes when she said it made me uneasy. That night, I went through Mom's room while she was sleeping. I don't know what I was looking for. Evidence of abuse. Signs of neglect. Everything looked fine. Clean room. Fresh sheets. Her medications organized in a weekly pill organizer. But then I noticed something. Mom's jewelry box, the wooden one Dad had made for her, was nearly empty. She'd always had a collection. Nothing incredibly valuable, but pieces that meant something. Her wedding ring set. A pearl necklace from their anniversary. A gold bracelet I'd given her for her 60th birthday. An antique brooch from her mother. All gone except for a few cheap costume pieces. I want to find Rachel. She was in our bedroom, reading. Where's Mom's jewelry? She looked up from her book. What? Mom's jewelry. The pieces she's had for years. They're gone. Oh, she asked me to put them in the safety deposit box. She was worried about losing them or having them stolen. You know how paranoid she's gotten lately. When did she ask you to do that? A few months ago. Maybe June, July? I don't remember exactly. And you didn't mention it to me? Thomas, I handle 100 small things like that every week. I can't report every single decision to you. You're barely home anyway. That stung because it was true. I worked constantly. Relied on Rachel for everything related to Mom and the house. Can I see them? In the safety deposit box. Of course. We can go Monday if you want. Though I don't know why you're suddenly suspicious of me. I've been taking care of your mother for 2 years while you focus on your career. I'm not suspicious. I just noticed they were gone. Well, now you know why. Is there anything else you'd like to interrogate me about? She went back to her book. Conversation over. I felt like an asshole for even asking. But Monday came and Rachel said she had a migraine. Couldn't go to the bank. Tuesday, she had a lunch with friends she'd scheduled weeks ago. Wednesday was Mom's doctor appointment. Thursday, the bank closed early for some corporate event. By Friday, I was suspicious enough to go to the bank myself during my lunch break. We had a joint safety deposit box that we'd set up years ago for important documents. The bank manager took me to the vault. I opened the box with my key. Inside, our passports, birth certificates, the deed of the house, my father's will. No jewelry. Nothing of Mom's at all. I called Rachel from the bank parking lot. The jewelry isn't in the safety deposit box. A pause. Then what? That's impossible. I put it there myself. It's not there, Rachel. Where is it? Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I put somewhere else. Let me think about it, and I'll figure it out when you get home. Rachel, where's my mother's jewelry? Thomas, I don't know. Maybe she moved it. Maybe she gave it away. She's not exactly reliable with her memory anymore. She didn't move it. You said you moved it. I thought I did. Jesus, Thomas, why are you treating me like a criminal? I've been busting my ass taking care of your mother, and this is the thanks I get? Accusations. She hung up on me. I sat in my car, hands shaking, trying to make sense of it. Rachel was right. She had been taking care of Mom. Selflessly, tirelessly. Was I really going to accuse her of theft over some missing jewelry that Mom might have given away or misplaced months ago? But the bruises, the fear in Mom's eyes, the hushed threats I'd overheard. Something was wrong. I needed proof. That night, I ordered a hidden camera online. Small, looks like a regular alarm clock, records continuously to a cloud storage. 2 days shipping. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I'd feel like an idiot when the footage showed Rachel being nothing but kind and patient with Mom. But I needed to know. The camera arrived Thursday. I set it up in Mom's room Friday morning before work, positioned on her dresser where it had a clear view of the bed and most of the room. Told Mom it was a new clock I bought her that also showed the date, thinking that might help with her confusion. She smiled and thanked me. That's thoughtful, Tommy. Rachel didn't even notice it. I went to work, tried to focus on code reviews and sprint planning. Checked the camera app on my phone compulsively. The live feed showed Mom's empty room during the day. She spent most of her time in the living room or her chair. Then at 2 p.m., Rachel helped Mom to her room for her afternoon rest. I watched on my phone from my desk at work. Watched Rachel help Mom onto the bed, adjust her pillows, say something I couldn't hear without audio. Then Rachel went to Mom's dresser, started going through drawers, methodically, carefully, like she was searching for something. She found an envelope in the bottom drawer, opened it, counted what looked like cash inside, pocketed it. My stomach dropped. I kept watching. Rachel went through Mom's closet next, found a small box on the top shelf, opened it, took out what looked like a check or some kind of document, studied it, then put it in her pocket. This wasn't caregiving. This was theft. I watched her search for another 10 minutes. When she finally left Mom's room, Mom's eyes were closed, pretending to sleep. But the moment Rachel was gone, Mom's eyes opened. She stared at the ceiling, and she was crying. I closed my laptop, told my team I had a family emergency, drove home going 20 over the speed limit the entire way. Rachel's car was in the driveway, but she wasn't in the house. I found her in the backyard, on the phone, pacing. I know. Just give me another month. I'll have everything liquidated by then. No, he doesn't suspect anything. He's completely oblivious. Look, The old lady has more hidden away than we thought. I'm still finding stuff. Yes, I'm being careful. She turned and saw me standing on the patio. Her face went white. I have to go, she said into the phone and hung up. Who was that? Thomas, you scared me. What are you doing home? Who were you talking to? Just my sister. About her divorce. It's complicated. Your sister who lives in Seattle, and you haven't talked to in 3 years. She blinked. We reconnected. What are you liquidating, Rachel? What stuff are you finding? I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera app, showed her the footage of her going through Mom's drawers and closet. The blood drained from her face completely. You put a camera in your mother's room. Answer the question. What are you liquidating? She stared at me for a long moment. I saw calculations happening behind her eyes, deciding whether to lie more or come clean. Finally, fine. Yes, I've been selling some of her things. Things she doesn't need anymore. Things she doesn't even remember having. Like her jewelry. She wasn't wearing it anyway. It was just sitting in a box collecting dust. It wasn't yours to sell, Rachel. It was hers. She doesn't even know it's gone. The Alzheimer's. She can't remember what she owned yesterday, let alone months ago. That doesn't make it okay to steal from her. I'm not stealing. I'm managing assets that would otherwise just sit there unused. You're stealing from an elderly woman with Alzheimer's. My mother. That's what you're doing. She changed tactics. Softened. Stepped toward me. Thomas, please. We needed the money. You know we've been struggling. Struggling? Rachel, I make $240,000 a year. What are you talking about? That's not enough. Not for the life we're supposed to have. We live in Westlake. Everyone around us has more. Better cars, bigger houses, nicer things. I was trying to close the gap without bothering you. By robbing my mother? She doesn't need it. She's going to die soon anyway. Why should it sit in a box when we could use it now? The casual cruelty of that statement. She's going to die soon anyway. About my mother, said to my face, like it was a perfectly reasonable justification. Get out. Thomas, get out of my house. Now. This is my house too. Get out or I'm calling the police and showing them this footage. She stared at me, realized I was serious. Fine, but you're going to regret this. I've been taking care of your mother for 2 years. You have no idea what that's like. And this is the thanks I get. The thanks you get is not being arrested. Get your things and leave. She went inside. I heard her slamming things around in our bedroom. 20 minutes later, she came out with a suitcase and her purse. I want a divorce, she said. Good. You'll be hearing from my attorney. She left, peeled out of the driveway. And I stood there shaking, realizing my 15-year marriage had just ended and I still didn't know the full extent of what Rachel had done. I went to check on Mom. She was sitting in her chair, staring at the TV without really watching it. Mom, Rachel's gone. She's not coming back. Did she hurt you? Mom looked at me with those confused, frightened eyes. Ooh, Rachel, my wife, your caregiver. I don't. When is dinner? The Alzheimer's was particularly bad that day. Or maybe she was protecting herself by retreating into confusion. I couldn't tell. I called my sister Jennifer. She lived in Dallas, visited a few times a year, but we'd never been particularly close. I told her everything. The bruises, the jewelry, the camera footage, Rachel leaving. Jesus, Thomas. I knew something was off with her. You did. Last time I visited, Mom seemed scared of her. But Mom's memory is so unreliable. I didn't know if it was real or confusion. I should have said something. It's not your fault. I lived here and didn't see it. What are you going to do? I don't know. I need to figure out how much she took. I need to protect Mom. I need to. I don't even know where to start. Start with the bank. Check all of Mom's accounts. I've been managing Mom's finances since Dad died. Or I thought I'd been. She had her checking account and savings, both with healthy balances last I checked. But when had I checked? Months ago? Longer? I logged into Mom's bank account online. The checking account that should have had about $8,000 had $247. The savings account that should have had $35,000 had $1,200. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. I pulled up the transaction history. Transfers. Dozens of them. Small amounts at first, $500 here, $1,000 there. Then larger. $5,000. $8,000. $12,000. All transferred to an account I didn't recognize. The transfer started 18 months ago. Around the same time Rachel had started insisting on taking Mom to all her appointments. I called the bank's fraud department. Explained the situation. They said they'd investigate, but needed police involvement for suspected elder abuse. I called the police non-emergency line. An officer came to the house that evening. I showed him everything. The camera footage, the bank transactions, the missing jewelry, the bruises on Mom's arms. Mr. Anderson, this looks like a clear case of elder financial abuse. Possibly physical abuse as well. We'll need to take a formal statement from your mother, but given her cognitive condition, that might be challenging. What happens now? We open an investigation. We'll interview your wife, soon-to-be ex-wife. Your ex-wife, review the evidence, and determine if criminal charges are warranted. Based on what you've shown me, I'd say charges are very likely. Elder abuse is a felony in Texas, especially with this level of financial exploitation. After the officer left, I sat with Mom. She was having a clearer moment, more lucid than she'd been in days. Tommy, is Rachel gone? Yes, Mom. She's gone. She won't be back. Mom started crying. I tried to tell you. I tried so many times, but I couldn't remember how to say it right. Everything gets mixed up in my head. Tell me now, Mom. What did Rachel do? She took things. Your father's ring. My jewelry. She said if I told you, she'd put me in a home. A bad place where no one would visit me. She said you'd believe her over me anyway because of my memory. How long has this been happening? I don't know. Time doesn't work right anymore. But a long time. She'd take me to the bank. Maybe sign papers. I didn't understand what they were. She said it was for doctor bills. There were no doctor appointments, were there? Mom shook her head. Sometimes. But mostly she'd take me to the bank. Or to jewelry stores. She'd make me sell things and then take the money. I felt sick. Did she hurt you physically? Mom pulled up her sleeve. More bruises, old and new. When I tried to refuse. Or when I said I'd tell you. She grabbed me. Pushed me. One time she locked me in my room all day with no food because I wouldn't sign something. This is getting intense. Smash that like button if you're still watching this. Subscribe right now. You need to see how this ends. And comment below where you're watching from and what time it is there. Tell me, would you have suspected sooner? I want your honest opinions. Now, let me tell you what else I found. Over the next week, with the help of the police investigation and a forensic accountant they recommended, we pieced together the full scope of Rachel's theft. She'd stolen approximately $67,000 from Mom's bank accounts over 18 months. The jewelry she'd sold had been worth another $23,000. I found receipts from pawn shops and online jewelry buyers in her email after I got access to her home computer. But that wasn't all. Rachel had also forged Mom's signature on several documents. A reverse mortgage application on Mom's house, thankfully denied because Mom didn't meet the age requirement. A loan application using Mom's Social Security as collateral, also denied. Documents attempting to add Rachel as a beneficiary on Dad's life insurance policy, caught by the insurance company and flagged. Multiple checks from Mom's account to cash. The forensic accountant estimated the total theft and attempted theft at over $120,000. But the worst discovery came when we examined the doctor appointments. Rachel had been taking Mom to the bank every Wednesday. The bank security footage, which they provided to police, showed Rachel essentially forcing Mom to make withdrawals and transfers, literally holding her arm as they walked to the teller window. In one clip, Mom was visibly upset, shaking her head. Rachel leaned in close, whispered something, and Mom went pale and compliant. It was coercion, plain and simple. The physical abuse was harder to document, but we had Mom's medical records showing multiple unexplained bruises and injuries over the past year. A visit to her actual doctor, Dr. Morrison, confirmed that Rachel hadn't brought Mom in for 6 months, despite claiming weekly appointments. Detective Sarah Martinez, the officer handling the case, called me on a Friday evening. Mr. Anderson, we've reviewed all the evidence. We're issuing a warrant for Rachel Anderson's arrest on charges of elder abuse, financial exploitation, theft, and forgery. Based on the amounts involved and the vulnerable victim, she's looking at 2 to 10 years in prison. Where is she now? We don't know. She's not at the hotel where she was staying. Her phone is off. We think she ran when she realized we were investigating. Rachel had disappeared. Completely. No contact with friends or family. No credit card activity. No hotel check-ins. Her sister in Seattle claimed she hadn't heard from her. I filed for divorce anyway, with criminal charges pending and a restraining order. Changed all the locks on the house. Set up proper security cameras everywhere. Hired a full-time caregiver for Mom. This time, a professional from a licensed agency with background checks and references. Mom's new caregiver, Patricia, was a 50-year-old former nurse who treated Mom with genuine kindness. Within days, Mom seemed happier, less afraid. The bruises started healing. Her anxiety decreased. She's lovely, Mom said one evening, talking about Patricia. Not like, what was her name? The mean one. Rachel, Mom. Rachel. Yes. She was mean. I'm glad she's gone. Me too, Mom. Me too. But Rachel's disappearance meant no closure. No confrontation. No answers to questions I still had. Like who had she been on the phone with in the backyard? Who was she planning to liquidate everything for? Was there someone else involved? The police found evidence suggesting Rachel had a gambling problem. They discovered she'd lost over $40,000 at a casino in Oklahoma over the previous year. That explained where some of Mom's money had gone. But not all of it. There were still gaps. Unaccounted for amounts that didn't match her spending patterns. 3 weeks after Rachel disappeared, I got a call from a blocked number. I answered. Thomas. Rachel. Where are you? Somewhere you'll never find me. I'm calling because I need you to drop the charges. Drop the charges? Rachel, you stole from my mother. You abused her. You're not coming back from this. I didn't steal. I borrowed. I was going to pay it back. With what money? You don't work. You haven't worked in 8 years. I had a plan. A business opportunity. It would have paid off huge and I could have put everything back before anyone noticed. What business opportunity? It doesn't matter now. It fell through. But Thomas, if you don't drop the charges, I'll make things very difficult for you. Al, I know things. About you. About your company. About money you've moved around. Things that might interest the IRS. She was bluffing. Had to be. Rachel, I've done nothing wrong. Maybe. Maybe not. Do you want to deal with an audit? Do you want your company asking questions about your finances? I can make your life hell, Thomas. Or you can drop the charges, and we go our separate ways. You abused my mother. There's nothing you can threaten me with that would make me drop charges. Then I guess we'll see how messy this gets. She hung up. I immediately called Detective Martinez, told her about the call. They tried to trace it, but it was from a burner phone. Location services off. She's getting desperate, Martinez said. That's good. Desperate people make mistakes. We'll find her. They found Rachel 6 weeks later. She'd been staying with a boyfriend I'd never known existed, a professional gambler named Marcus who she'd apparently been involved with for over 2 years. They'd been living in a hotel in Las Vegas, funded by what was left of Mom's money. When police arrested her, she was in a casino, down to her last $500 of the $120,000 she'd stolen. The trial took 8 months to get to court. During that time, I focused on rebuilding Mom's finances and getting her the care she needed. We sold her house, the one she'd lived in with Dad for 40 years, because she couldn't return to it, and the proceeds would help pay for her care. She cried when I told her. One of her lucid days. That was our home. Richard and I built our life there. I know, Mom. I'm sorry. But we need the money for your care now. Because that woman stole it. Yes. I hate her, Tommy. Is that wrong? To hate someone? No, Mom. It's not wrong. The house sold for $425,000. After paying off the remaining mortgage and expenses, we netted $380,000. Combined with what was left in her account and my own savings, we had enough to ensure Mom would be cared for properly for the rest of her life. Rachel's trial was devastating to watch. The prosecution presented everything: the bank footage, the medical records, the forged documents, Mom's testimony, which was heartbreaking because she got confused on the stand and the defense tried to use that to discredit her. But the evidence was overwhelming. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced her to 8 years in prison. No parole eligibility for at least 4 years. Restitution of $120,000 to be paid to mom's estate. Permanent restraining order preventing contact with mom or me. Rachel cried, apologized to the court, claimed she'd been under stress, that her gambling addiction had taken over her judgment, that she never meant to hurt anyone. The judge wasn't sympathetic. Mrs. Anderson, you systematically exploited a vulnerable elderly woman with dementia. You stole her money, sold her possessions, physically abused her, and psychologically terrorized her. You did this while her son trusted you to care for her. This is one of the most egregious cases of elder abuse I've seen in my 20 years on the bench. 8 years is the maximum sentence I can give you, and frankly, it's not enough. Rachel was led away in handcuffs. She looked at me once, mouthed, "I'm sorry." I turned away. Outside the courthouse, Jennifer was waiting with Mom. We'd brought Mom to see the verdict. Her doctor said it might give her closure. "Is the mean lady going away?" Mom asked. "Yes, Mom. For a long time." "Good. Can we get ice cream now?" We got ice cream. Mom had chocolate. Spilled some on her shirt because her hands shake now. Laughed about it like a child. This was my mother. The woman who raised me, who taught me to ride a bike, who sat through every one of my basketball games, even though I was terrible. The woman who held me when Dad died, who told me everything would be okay, even though her own world had shattered. And someone I trusted, someone I brought into our home, had abused her, stolen from her, terrorized her, all while I was at work thinking everything was fine. That was 3 years ago. Mom passed away last fall, peacefully, in her sleep, with Patricia holding her hand and me sitting next to her bed. The Alzheimer's had progressed significantly in those final years. Toward the end, she didn't recognize me most days. Thought I was her brother or her father or sometimes a stranger. But Patricia said that even in her confused state, Mom never seemed afraid, never flinched when Patricia helped her, never cried like she used to. The funeral was small. Jennifer and her family. A few of Mom and Dad's old friends who were still alive. Patricia came too, cried like she'd lost her own mother. Rachel didn't come, still in prison, still has 5 years left on her sentence. I get notifications from the prison system whenever she's up for a hearing or evaluation. I attend every one, submit written statements opposing any early release. I'm not vindictive. I'm protective of Mom's memory, of other vulnerable people Rachel might encounter, of the principle that elder abuse should have real consequences. The divorce was finalized 2 years ago. I got the house, she got prison. Fair trade. I haven't remarried, haven't even dated. Hard to trust anyone after watching someone you love spend 2 years systematically abusing your mother while you worked late and missed all the signs. The signs that were there. The bruises. The fear in Mom's eyes. The missing jewelry. The overly detailed explanations Rachel gave for everything. The way she isolated Mom from other people. The control. I should have seen it sooner. I should have paid more attention. I should have been home more, should have asked more questions, should have trusted my instincts instead of brushing them aside. But I didn't, and Mom suffered because of it. I sold a house in Westlake last year. Too many bad memories. Bought something smaller, simpler, in a quieter neighborhood. Started a nonprofit focused on elder abuse prevention and education.